What if Deku was Scarecrow? Two-part special, Halloween special. We start this off with someone in a red hood and seemingly a Scarecrow mask is meeting with someone. So, you're paying me this much amount just to, release this little vial in a compact area? A small area, like an elevator. Also, I prefer if you wait for this person. Alright, and this much for this amount of money? This is an easy task. Yes, I'll give you the rest on completion. So you're sure anything in this vial won't affect me, right? Of course not. You have my word. Just get the job done. I'll be monitoring. Alright, Scarecrow, sir. I'll get on to it. Good. As we seemingly go to the villain who walked into the building, as he waits for a certain person, as he gets in the elevator with the person and two other people, as we see a camera in the elevator, as someone's watching. Open the vial. As he opens the vial, as orange gas comes out, as everyone breathes it in. As then a person seemingly screams before falling to the floor. As then the villain sees his fear being a clown. He quickly pulls out the gun he brought and shoots both the people in front of him. But the clown gets closer before raising up, seemingly to be a knife. As he swings, blood goes over the wall. As an hour passes, as detectives and police have arrived. As Eraserhead walks up, so what's the problem? Well, we got 4 dead in an elevator. One seemingly died of a stroke, the other 2 were shot. And the last one seemingly took his, just look for yourself. As he takes Aizawa to the scene, as there's blood all over the wall. Wow, so he shot himself. Seems so. As we see one of the police officers, pick up an item before putting it in his pocket. Fred, have you found anything? As he looks over at Eraserhead and the leading detective. No, sir, just the bullet shell. Alright. Take that back, we may need evidence. After all, we have no idea what could have happened here. Of course. As the camera is still on, as he's looking at the scene, it looks like my friend got rid of the evidence. Great, now I don't have to worry about them catching on for now. As he then goes and types, test complete. The fear gas is 100% complete now. It can work on small to big quantities. As someone is tied up to a chair, seemingly screaming. Be quiet, or else I'll test the next batch of fear toxin on you. As the man calms down. That's what I thought. As he seemingly goes to a board, where the person that has several knives through it, is Bakugo. Just you wait, old friend. Soon I'll have my revenge. You and whoever's unfortunately with you. It's been 5 years since you threw me in that fire to die. And I'll take you where it all began. As then we have a picture of a bus. Thanks to my friend, I know the schedule of your upcoming events. As the man just starts to squirm again. As he would seemingly pull out a hot, hook. As he would toss it, kind of like a chain. As it would go around and pierce through his neck with a hot burning, end going straight through his neck as he feels and screams the pain with what he has before dying. I told you to be quiet. As he pulls it back, seemingly, basically decapitating the man. as he walks over past the dissevered head. Great. I have another thing to patch up. As then seemingly another person in a Scarecrow mask would come in. Dispose of the body. As it simply nod before going to grab the body. Alright, I'll simply hire the maintenance crew to add a little bit more detail on that bus trip. Just you wait. The LOV may have failed to defeat the heroes and to get rid of you, but I won't. That's a promise, Bakugo Katsuki. Just you wait. As he would go, well, seemingly to his control desk, before typing in a few more, well, buttons before pressing something, as we see a complex system of chemicals being poured into a large container, seemingly full of orange gas. They may have called my quirk weak, but truth be told, they don't know its true power. Fear. I don't know why I didn't embrace you sooner. As then the other Scarecrow would come in. What do you want? As Assembly just nods. Right, you don't speak. Prepare the fear gas. Set it up all throughout our base. Strategic positions. In case any heroes do figure out our plan. Do I make myself clear? The other Scarecrow just seemingly nods. Good. As he walks by, as he sees a old newspaper he put up on the wall a while back. And it was the fire on a farm, seemingly where a death of a student took place. As he would grab it before crumbling it. There's no need keeping this useless junk. As he tossed it into a fire. But I better prepare. As time would pass, as we see Scarecrow currently hooking something onto a bus. Yes, there. As he knows someone coming, as he would quickly hide behind something, as it seemingly was, well, the bus driver. Okay, just the bus driver. As he's about to get on the bus, he certainly gets, well, chained around before dragged off. As then again, different person, comes out, as we see a corpse just laying there against a wall. Thanks for the disguise, buddy. This should make kidnapping them a lot easier. As he gets into the driver's seat, before rolling out, as he goes to UA, as he checks the time, any minute now. As then his phone would ring. Who is it? As he would answer it. This is Fred, your, hired hand. Listen, why are you calling me now? I'm calling you now was because you sure you want me to do this now? I already sent some people there. Remember to dispose of them as usual. No evidence must be found. I've been covering for this evidence in your last few crime scenes. Of you testing whatever you're testing. You know very well it won't affect you as it won't affect me. I'm still very confused how you're immune to the fear toxin I made. Hey, the way I see it, it's a perk for both of us. Just get the job done. I set up a little meeting where the fear gas will take place. There'll be a huge amount of panic. It'll arouse heroes all over, keeping the main eye off this bus. Yeah, but you want me to activate it? No, some fool's gonna activate it like every other time. Idiots that will just do anything for money. Fine. But note, I'm bringing a gas mask, just in case. Can't let my cover be blown. I don't plan for you to get caught just yet. Keep doing your job. I've already sent this week's payment to your account. As he checks his phone. Very well, consider the job done. Good, we're on the same page. As then he knows Aizawa in the class coming. Gotta go. As he hangs the call up. As Aizawa gets on, as he notices the man. Are you new? Ah, yes, I'm the new bus driver. Well, I did get reports of a new bus driver for UA to get us to different facilities. We are going back to the USJ. You know where that is at? Yes, my predecessor told me exactly where to go. I know where it is. As the students start getting on board. After the last student gets on board, he smiles. Alright, we'll be there in short time. As he starts to drive off. Now I just gotta wait. As seemingly he's driving towards the USJ, is when a huge explosion would happen. As students see this, as Aizawa tells him to stop. Oh, don't worry, we are stopping. But not now. As he presses a button, as a whole bunch of gas starts to come onto the bus. Hey, what did you... As then Aizawa immediately faints. As we see that the person had put on a gas mask. Nice try, but have a good night. As he looks at class 3A. This is technically 2 years after canon. Good, they're all knocked out. Now, let's move. As he drives away. As we go to Fred, the hired hand. As he's seemingly dealing with a lot of panic, people seemingly fighting each other, seeing hallucinations, having the heroes real busy. As then a seemingly text comes on his phone as he checks it, saying if everything's alright, from a random number. Oh. As he then just says yes, as he goes back to Scarecrow, who's driving away, as we reveal as the bus driving is through a cornfield. Good. Everything is going according to plan. As Fred is currently, basically tying people up, arresting people, calming them down, doing average police work. As then he tells, hey, do you got this? I gotta go over there to stop another person. Yeah, go. As he would act like he's going into a building to stop another person. But truth be told, he goes to the top floor where the gas is being released and shuts it off. Before, pulling the emergency timer for it to explode. As he quickly runs down to the bottom, just grabs a random person, walks out, who's been affected by the fear gas. As he leaves, as the building then goes boom. As he falls over to the ground by the explosion. As he rolls, he simply just smiles. Job complete. Now we go back to Scarecrow. Who seemingly is moving the students and all of them out of the bus. And into several rooms. As we now go to, the heroes that have noticed that, Class 3A Aizawa never made it to the USJ. As they're constantly trying to call. As Nezu calls in a meeting where all the top teachers come in. Have any of you managed to get in touch with Aizawa? No? Why? I haven't been able to get in touch with him. He's supposed to go to the USJ, and I haven't gotten in touch with any others. That's odd. Aizawa usually always answers. This is really odd. And the teacher at the USJ said that Aizawa in the class never arrived. Well, we have to check the footage. Check the security tape or the tracker on the bus. I am. It's currently going down a certain road. As, of course, they investigate, as the tracker had been replanted on just a random car. As they would soon realize this after they were about to arrest the person in the car. As All Might realized, well, Toshinori Yagi realized, hey, this isn't the bus. We've been fooled. We're gonna need to find out where the students disappeared to. This is bad. Try to track their phones. Don't worry, we're having our police department do everything we can to help with this investigation. We'll find your students. Hopefully so. As we go to Scarecrow, who's currently looking at a monitor, it looks like we have our first person awake. As it seemingly is Kaminari. As Scarecrow gets up off of his chair before walking by a few rooms. Before he enters one, as Kaminari is strapped to a chair. Well, 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 if it isn't Kaminari. How do you know my name? Why, I have a bit of files from your, well, UA school. They really should manage to keep your research in check. 'Cause I know your quirks, your abilities, your names, your families, and more. But tell me, Kaminari, what do you fear? What do you mean? What do you fear most? What is it? Rejection? Lack of fame? What is it that you are so afraid of? As he gulps, let's find out, shall we? As the man, Kaminari, looks afraid. What do you mean? As he would then phrase fear talks in his face. Wait. No, no, no! As there would be screaming. It's seemingly all waking up several of his classmates down the hall. As we cut back to Scarecrow, who looks over as Kaminari has seemingly passed out. Passed out, eh? As he then would just stab Kaminari's arm, as he would scream, waking him back up. I need you awake. As he's still seeing his greatest fear. Listen. As then suddenly his fear would stab him in the shoulder. Ah! Did I mention your fears can harm you? I still can't believe you're scared of a scary movie. As seemingly someone with a knife was seemingly stabbing Kaminari in the other shoulder, as he would scream out. As Scarecrow would raise his hand as seemingly person Kaminari is scared of stops. As he stands in front of, well, Kaminari, who's tired and has several wounds. You're lucky there. You get to be the first one. Your other friend I experimented on when I first arrived. Well, let's just say he didn't last long, and he had purple hair. Who thought the little guy was afraid of piranhas? He got eaten by it. And the only thing left of him was simply just his quirk. And you're lucky to be the second. As the man raises a knife before the scene comes out, and we don't see what happens to him, but we hear a scream. As several of the students have woken up, as we go to Bakugo, who explodes the chains before breaking out. Where am I? Was that bus driver kidnapped us? As he would blast the door, blowing it off its hinges, before he goes to another one and sees that Kirishima's inside, as he would blow the door open and go and wake him up, as he would get him untied, and wake up Kaminari, or Sorry. Before waking up, Kirishima. Oh, what happened? You're out. Where are we? I have no clue. Apparently some guy brought us here. I think it was that bus driver. We need to find the others. As we see that Scarecrow has left the room where Kaminari is at, as he walks by an area and sees that Mina is out of her chair. As he stops, he's about to go in, as then some red lights appear. You got lucky, miss. As he walks out, and seemingly goes to a different room, where there's a control panel. Let's see. Bakugo is out of his room. So is Kirishima. Momo, right? Momo is also escaped. What is that? The person that could talk to animals was also freed. Juro as well. Interesting. What about Eraserhead? As he checks, Eraserhead's still in his cell, fast asleep. Good. So a total of about 5 students. Kirishima, Bakugo, Juro, the person that I talked to animals, and Momo. Let's see how far they get. Hopefully my friend takes care of a few loose ends. The others could break out of their rooms any time. So I better maybe pay one a visit. As Bakugo and Kirishima manage to get outside, as it's a cornfield. We're in a cornfield? What is this place? I don't know, but I don't like it. Shouldn't we look for the others? I agree, as then, seemingly, by coincidence, Momo, Juro, and the person that comes in with the animal quirk, which I think is Koda. As, oh, it looks like y'all got out as well. Do y'all know what's happening? No, but I heard a scream. A scream? We should go back and fight whoever's doing this. I don't know. We really need to inform the heroes. We have no idea where we are. As then seemingly the intercom system around would turn on. Well, if it isn't some escapees. Don't worry, you'll be joining a few of your friends as soon as I get to you. I've already dispatched of at least 2 of your friends. Let's see how you like to join them. As someone would be walking down the hall, as they would hear chain of metal. What's that? As Bakugo turns around with Kirishima, as they see sparks coming off the wall, as someone with 2 sickles are coming forward. As they seemingly be sparking off like electricity. As Scarecrow over the intercom is just smiling. As we go back to the Electric Kid's cell, Kaminari, as he's no longer in his chair. Enjoy the hunt. As Bakugo wants to throw an explosion, as Momo stops. No, what if you cause this whole thing to, collapse? The rest of our classmates are still inside. What should we do, not fight? Let's leave him out into the open. We have a better chance of fighting him there. As they run out into the cornfield. Remember, stick together. As they run to the cornfield. As the Scarecrow with 2 sickles gets to the top. As then, seemingly an earpiece on him, speaks. Listen. Take care as many of him as you can. Do not fail me. Or else. As Scarecrow pretty much just nods before walking off into the cornfield. Now while they're busy chasing a few of your students, Eraserhead, we can get to talk. as Eraserhead seemingly is in the same room as the observation cameras. As he can't say anything, as he's just staring at Scarecrow. As he walks over there and rips off the tape off Eraserhead's mouth. There, better? Why did you kidnap us? 2 of your students are already dead. What do you have to say about that? As he's shocked, I dealt with them personally. But just to tell you this, you're going to watch a few of your students perish. As they see, like, several cameras around the cornfield, seemingly observing. Why did you kidnap us? Isn't it simple? Revenge. I've wanted revenge on a certain someone in your class for years, but he's been out of my reach. I was hoping the LOV 2 years ago could have gotten rid of him for me, so I didn't have to resort to such measures. But no. And I can't just wait for him to become a hero. Then what's the point of crushing his dream when it's already happened? Which student are you mainly after? For just some petty revenge? As he would get close into Eraserhead's face. Petty revenge? One of your students nearly killed me about 5 years ago. And you call this petty revenge? As he just tosses the chair Aizawa was in, as he hits the wall, before calming down. Let me calm down. Where is my manners? As he goes over and picks up the chair where Eraserhead is sitting and places him directly in front of the monitors. You will watch as your students are teared apart one by one. And I will maybe give you death after a few of theirs. Maybe. But you gotta listen. Once these pesky students are dealt with, I deal with you. I can't have any loose ends. And that includes you. So just enjoy the show while you can. As he seemingly walks out of the room. Who is this guy? And why is he after one of my students? But why did he evolve all of them? As we go back to the cornfield where they're running, don't get split up. It's easy to get split up in this maze. As, well, of course, someone throws a sickle as it, cuts one of the students' arms. Koda's arm, as he has to separate and run into an opposite direction. As Joe says, Koda, don't run that way. As he doesn't listen. As basically they were separated into 3 groups. Juro and Momo, Koda, Bakugo, and Kirishima. As Koda ends up into like a middle of a circle surrounded by hay. Where am I? As seemingly a Scarecrow would come out. Who are you? As this one has a flaming hook. As Koda backs up, as he tries to call for animals, but none came. As he would swing the scythe on a chain. As Koda attempts to run, as he tosses the high-rot chain, as it goes through his shoulder, as he pulls, as the flesh seems to melt. As his arm goes flying, as blood goes everywhere. As he falls to the ground. As he slowly approaches while swinging the chained sickle. No, no, as that huge scream would be heard throughout the cornfield, as they would turn back. As Kirishima turns back, a sickle would go straight into his shoulder, as Bakugo would grab him and they would start running again. As they would seemingly hide in a shed nearby. You alright? Yeah, it got me by surprise. It won't happen again, Bakugo. We need to find out where our classmates are. We need to free them. As we go back to Koda as seemingly his body has been severed into several pieces, as the Scarecrow is now moving on. As Aizawa witnessed Koda pretty much being torn to pieces by the Scarecrow with a chained sickle. As we see the other Scarecrow grab a, sickle he had thrown. As he heads towards the shed where Bakugo and Kirishima are. As he simply just knocks. As both Kirishima and Bakugo stay quiet. As Momo and Juro had found a barn. As they walk in, what is this place? I don't know, but as they walk in, they see like a vial of something. A huge one at that. What is this? It's filled with orange gas? As Momo touches the container. Juro, take a look at this. Juro? As she turns around, as she looks up, her friend has a sickle going through her chest as she's just dangling. As blood falls onto her, as she screams. As she attempts to run to the exit, as it suddenly just closes. You really thought I would let you find this place and let you live, while you were busy admiring my work. I took care of your little friend. Why are you doing this? As she seemingly tries to create a sword, as then a sickle would seemingly swing out of nowhere on a chain and simply cuts off her hand. As she grabs her hand, as the other Scarecrow with the chain enters. Why, this is my gift to Japan. The very society that wish to just, say I have a weak quirk, say I don't belong, say I'm a freak for what I see. Well, I will show them what I see. And I will show them in a spectacular fashion of fear. You're crazy. Yes, but aren't the best of us? As she looks up, you, as before she could finish that. What was that? As her head would seemingly roll in front of Deku. Ah, yes, the pure silence of someone's death. As he steps on her head. You don't have anything to say now, do you? You're just like the rest of them. As he just squishes her head. Listen, I know it's hard for them to find this place, but if they do come back, I want you back here immediately. As he talks to the other Scarecrow. As it nods. As we go back to that other Scarecrow, who starts hacking away at the shed door. As Bakugo would aim and make a huge explosion, sending the door outward, hitting the Scarecrow, as he's sent flying back, as the door is on top of him. Bakugo and Kirishima would go out. As they would lift the door, as they realized that Bakugo made too dense of an explosion, as it pierced, hitting the Scarecrow through the stomach, leaving a hole. I didn't mean to do an explosion that big. It's fine, Bakugo. After all, let's see who this guy is. As they would lift, as suddenly Kirishima, who was about to take off the mask, gets electrocuted by the corpse. As he falls over. Are you alright, Kirishima? As he goes over. As he looks back and sees that, wait, I know that electricity. As he would move the mask off, as it was Kaminari. Did I just kill Kaminari? As then, over the intercom once again, it seems like you managed to kill one of your own classmates. How does it feel? You monster! Where are you so I can beat your butt? Why I'm not such a fool, Bakugo Katsuki. Don't worry, you'll be joining him soon in the afterlife. Guarantee it'll be pleasant. You may have a very painful death, unlike a few of your other classmates. Two, I gave them really generous options. Let's say Momo Ryozu. She is now nothing but a decapitated head. Or should I say body, as her head is nothing but mush. And Juro, who got a very quick death, seemingly hanging from a sickle of the ceiling of a building. Those are quick deaths. But yours won't be so quick. As then, he looks at his watch, which has the number of all the cells of the students, as it seemingly Shoto and a few others got out. It looks like some of your other friends wish to die. If they would have just stayed within their pretty little confinement areas, they would get to live at least a little longer. But it looks like the hunt commences. As he looks and sees only 2 students seems to be left in their cells. Since they wish to disobey, I'll have to show them the price. As he gets up and walks, as Aizawa has now witnessed several of his students' deaths, as Scarecrow comes in, so how is the view? You're a monster, as he's crying. I get that a lot. But trust me, it will all make sense. After all, looky there. I did at least do something for one of your students. Kaminari's fear is still out there, you know. As he looks over, what do you mean? Let me give you a little hint how my quirk works. Now, I didn't know I had this ability until a few years ago. But apparently I can make other people's fears a reality. Bring them into the physical world, essentially. As he looks up at Scarecrow. You monster. Yes, and I have one of your very own student's fears currently on the loose. As then someone's calling him. I must answer this. As he walks out of the room, what is it? This is Fred. I'm currently rerouting the heroes, telling them different locations, but I'm leading them as far away from your location as possible. Good. I don't need them to interrupt me while I'm currently in the middle of my plan. Don't worry, they shouldn't bother you. And if they do, I got this fear gas on my chest. All right here in vials on my vest, ready to be released as soon as a moment's notice you give the order. You're willing to go that far for an order. You pay really handsomely, Scarecrow, so you keep giving me pays like that. I'll gladly blow up the entire city block. As Scarecrow smiles, I appreciate your loyalty when it comes to being hired. Noted, just keep them busy. Got it. As then Fred would bring out a silenced pistol before shooting, a cop that overheard their conversation. Sorry. As he leans down, but no loose ends. As he'd seemingly place a device on the man's jacket before leaving the room. As it explodes, seemingly removing all evidence. As he smiles. As we go back to Scarecrow. As he goes to, 2 of the student cells, the invisible girl and the student that has a tail. It seems like y'all 2 got to share a cell. As he walks in, as both of them look at him. What have you done for our classmates? Oh, they're currently on the loose for now. But your teacher, not so much. What have you done to them? Most of them are alive, but a few of them met unfortunate accidents. Now listen here. There's one way y'all to survive, at least a little longer in this game of mine. I'm not willing to play any game. As Scarecrow then would just pull out a sickle and just stab his hand as he would scream, "Ah! Do I need to show you that this isn't a game by your choice?" As he pulls it out, "You will play along, or else I will make you play along. What do you fear most?" As he walks around the person with a tail. "Why do I need to tell you that?" As he stabs the other hand, as he screams, "Ah!" "What do you fear the most?" "Fine. Going wild. Losing all sense of morality, eh? Becoming nothing but a mindless person. An interesting fear, but a relative interesting one. Why don't we make it a reality?" "No, I won't." As then he would spray the fear gas. "Ah!" As then he would scream. As basically a wilder version of him would appear, that simply just hits him several times in the face. As the invisible girl is seeing this, "Let him go. Stop. He's gonna kill him." As he gives one more punch. Ugh. As Scarecrow gives a signal for him to stop. "Don't worry. He's not gonna die yet." But he then goes to a little bit of a furnace in the room and sets a sickle there. "Now it's your turn. Now do you want to tell me your fear? Or, well, shall I do the same thing I did with your friend, who is bleeding from the mouth?" "Fine. My fear is what people will think of me." "Fear of what they may think and what you look like. Interesting. Now let's see what you think that fear represents." As then he would spray the fear toxin in her face, as then she would see what she fears, which seemingly to be a very, well, the gross image of a woman with a very scary face, and seemingly can turn invisible like a chameleon. "Interesting, so this is what you fear. Just stop. Let us go." "No, but since you did so wisely answer my question on the first try, I will let y'all have a refractory period. Y'all get to live for another hour. Unless your friend doesn't survive the wounds. Blood loss can be fatal over time." "Then heal him." No, this is not how this works, dear. Y'all decide to have to be in the same class of someone that tried to kill me. So of course, y'all will pay his punishment as well." As he would back off. As he goes back to the furnace before picking up the scythe, or the sickle. "But first, your friend was very disobedient." As he would seemingly then just decapitate, well, the student's tail as he screams. "Ah, now how does it feel to be quirkless? If you're not dead in an hour by blood loss, I will heal your wounds. You're lucky this was hot enough to cauterize your severed tail. So if you're still alive, I will tend his wounds in an hour. But since you gave me what I want first try, you get to live for another hour without any repercussions." As Scarecrow leaves the room, "Enjoy what time you have left, because guarantee it will be your last." As he slams the door, as the two fears followed him out. As we go to another part of the area where another student has been stabbed to death. As it happened to be, well, Sue. As the person is just constantly stabbing her body. As, well, Tokiyami just basically seemingly decapitated the man with Dark Shadow as he sees Sue's death and screams. Now this attracts the fears, and Deku Scarecrow hears this. It looks like your next victim is just down the hall. Why don't you two have some fun? As one of them just seemingly moves like a wild animal towards that area, and the other one just smiles before turning invisible. Good work. Now let's see where everyone else is at. It seems Bakugo and Kirishima are still in the cornfield. The one with the multiple hands quirk is still roaming around. The tape guy and the sugar person are still working together. They seem to be roaming the facility. Am I forgetting anyone? Where's Todoroki? As he's looking through all of his observation footage, where is Todoroki? As he hits his desk, have I lost Todoroki? No, he was on that bus. We knocked him out. Who could be left? As then, he looks back on the camera as he switches, as we see Mina seemingly being decapitated by the other Scarecrow. Well, that's one less student. As he keeps checking, as he sees Chaco, Uraka, and Shoto together. They're together. As then he hears a scream down the hall. That must be Tokiyami. Let's see how they're doing. As, well, they pretty much just took out Tokiyami as the wild one was attacking from all angles while the invisible girl's fear came up behind and basically just grabbed his heart and just took it out of his body. Good, it seems like they're doing a magnificent job. But we still have a few more to deal with. As, of course, Aizawa saw everything that's happening. As he walks back into the room, have you enjoyed your little show? Stop this. You've already killed over half the students. Yes, there's still a handful left. I'm always forgetting their names. Although I had the records thanks to the leftover documents I stole from the LOV before they were, well, caught. So most of your students have already been dealt with. Now, I'm still dealing with at least a few handful of people. But for now, they roam my facility unchecked. But their fears, well, will turn them into my advantage. But since you're here, I will give you a little bit of an origin story. Because why not? 5 years ago, in this very place, I was thrown into the fire to die. 5 years ago? But there's no cornfields that caught... Are you talking about the plantation plant that was shut down 5 years ago? Near here? Yes. But I wasn't thrown into the fire of that place. It fled to this very cornfield. And, well, I got tossed into it by one of your students. And my quark saved me, showing me that I shouldn't fear fear. I should embrace it. And that's when I realized I could bring fears into reality. How fascinating is that? I even managed to turn one of your students into a mindless husk of himself to use to hunt the others. And the funny thing, he didn't get a single kill. But he did get killed by one of his own classmates. How hilarious is that, Eraserhead? And I'll let you know. The other student shall die a horrible death. As he checks the footage, it seems like your little student that I cut off his tail and stabbed him in the arms didn't last very long. As the invisible girl is trying to talk to him, she doesn't realize she's talking to a corpse. He's been dead for at least 3 minutes now. How do you know that? I'm sorry, you don't work with fear toxin like this stuff, as he shows a vial, without knowing the time of death of your so-called test subjects. Y'all been too busy with all these other villain attacks. You don't even bother to even research the missing people reports. Yeah, those missing people I've been using as my test subjects. Just to make sure I could get my revenge. Which student do you want revenge on? Why do you have to get everyone else involved? Because y'all choose to be classmates with him, and you chose to let a person that is a murderer into your school. He threw me into the fire 5 years ago, hoping I would die. And I'm back to haunt him now. So just know, this is not your fault that all your students are dying because of me. It's your student that caused all this. I would try to extract your fear, but I kinda want to have you alive a bit longer. Because the misery on your face is priceless. The heroes will find you. Good luck, not with my man in the inside leading them astray. As always, eyes widen. Yeah, I have someone feeding me intel. I have someone leading you away. In fact, by now, your hero should be at least somewhere across halfway Japan in the opposite direction, thanks to him. Now, let's see how he's doing. You don't have security footage in the police department, or the heroes. Oh, really? As he then changes the seemingly monitor, as we see someone setting up explosives in the building. Wait, that is... Yes, that's the very person you saw on the, few sites where I had people mysteriously killing each other, dying of strokes. Yes, he was simply getting rid of all of my evidence. You had this planned from the start? You were experimenting with people in daylight, and we never knew? As he smiles. Of course, because what's the fun of having them all in one place, and having them do a little bit of a horror? Get them scared to show me their fears. 'Cause trust me, I have a few fears I've been waiting to drop on your students, but I've kept them at bay. Other people's fears I've kept into the actual world, just to wait and see how they would react. As then, he checks his wrist as one of the lights went out. It seems like another one of your students have perished. Oh, I should really... As he moves his, sleeve up, revealing a device that has lights. This is also how I know if some of your students are alive. I connected a device to their nervous system, so whenever the blood stops pumping to their heart, it will turn off the light, which means your student has died. You still have a few of them left alive. I doubt any of them will make it out of here. But just to be more satisfied, I'll piece together a little bit of a puzzle that'll have you guessing on who's the student. His name... No, not his name. He's a hot airhead who wants to be the #1 hero. Piece it together as he walks out before slamming the door. As he smiles as he walks through the corridor, before opening the room to where the invisible girl is at. And that's the end of part 1 of What If Deku Was Scarecrow. A 2-shot What If. Make sure to like and subscribe for more.